Hi, everyone. This is Caroline with Expat Interviews Thriving Abroad, where I have the opportunity to meet the most amazing people that are living all over the globe, living their best life. And today I have the beautiful and amazing Kristin with me, who's going to share her fairy tale story of life in beautiful Ghana. And all of the expats that I've had have shared. Um, really touching and beautiful stories, but I know you're going to be so moved when Kristin tells us about the beautiful life that she's created. Thank you so much for joining me, Kristin. It's a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here because I feel like it is so necessary to inspire people to follow their dreams and what's in their heart. So I'm happy to be here today.
Well, we are going to begin our amazing inspiration with telling us a little bit about your life. You're originally from the US.
Yes. So I was born and raised in the U.S., but I come from a Caribbean. My mom's a Caribbean from Trinidad, and my dad is African American. So we grew up in the States, and I always had this desire to travel to the African continent. And I finally got the chance to do that after going to going to school at Howard for 4 years and then enrolling into law school. And while I was in law school, I ended up doing a legal study abroad program. And the person who told me about that program was basically saying that, if you have a desire to go abroad, try to go abroad for longer than just 2 weeks. And, I would be able to immerse myself in the culture if I did it that way. And so I found this program that allowed for me to spend almost close to 3 months in Ghana.
So here you are, a lawyer, and you thought you were living your best life, and you went to Africa, and your whole world changed.
Yes. So at the time that I went to Ghana for the first time, I was in law school and I had one more year of law school left. And so it was kind of like, at this point, I've already done so much of law school, even though deep down I want to, you know, travel the world. I had always had this desire to travel the world. I felt like, how am I going to make this happen? How can I travel full time? And it seemed like too much of a fairy tale, basically, in order for me to accomplish. So I ended up actually, after law school was finished that next year, I took the bar and I started a job. And I thought that doing this job where I was helping people would make me fulfilled and happy. However, I found that it wasn't enough. Um, I was still wanting more. And I ended up like making myself sick, honestly. It was a very tough time. I was stressed. I felt unappreciated with my work. So many different things. It was a very tough time for me. And ended up having a lot of medical issues during that particular time. So, fast forward, um, I decide that I, you know, want to make the jump and leave and actually start my own business. So, with some encouragement from my husband, I was able to do
So let's talk about your husband. Another fairy
that.
tale story. Yeah. So your husband, Nee, he was an
Yeah.
expat also.
No, he's actually born and raised in
Okay, but
Ghana.
he okay,
He's
but
a
was he an
Ghanaian.
expat to the U.S.?
Yes, he is. So he is an expat to the U.S. We met in Ghana. So that first time that I actually traveled in 2016, he was an assistant to the legal study abroad program that I joined. So that's how we met, and we ended up spending like a lot of time together. And at the end of the 3 months that I was there, we decided that we wanted to be married. So we ended up getting married, and he moved to the States with me. So I ended up starting a new job and moving to Miami, and then he moved to Miami with me.
So you expatted him to the US then.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's amazing. So, so now the two of you have teamed up and you're doing amazing things with bringing awareness to Ghana and helping others that have an interest in moving to the continent.
Yes.
Just giving them. And I was going through your Instagram, and you have just it's so inspiring. I'm looking at plane tickets myself, just to some of the
Hmm.
pictures and some of the beautiful information that you share about Ghana. But I wanted to get into, we heard so much about Ghana with the return, and but I
Yes.
know there's a backstory to all of it. And, Ghana is a beautiful country. It's very inviting. But I feel like there's some things that we still don't know, those people that are looking to perhaps put that on their list of countries. What are some of the things that maybe people don't know about Ghana that you wish people knew?
Well, I do think that I do think that you're right. There is a lot of misconceptions about Ghana and the African continent in general, and it's one of the reasons why we do what we do, because the media portrayal of Africa tends to be negative sometimes, and those images fill people's minds whenever they think and talk about Africa. So you still have some people who are imagining that it's very unsafe, that that everybody in Africa is poor and starving, and all of these different things. So we try to bring awareness of the alternate to all of these portrayals, because the reality is that I felt safer in Ghana than I felt living in the United States when I came the first time. I would be out late at night, and not once did it ever cross my mind that something could happen to me, or not once did it ever cross my mind that I would be shot by the police. Those things are just very uncommon, and not the reality for many people living on the continent. So, that's what we try to tell people when we, share the things about Ghana. And it's very peaceful. The people are very welcoming. And one of the things that I love the most is how welcoming the people are, and the relationships that I've developed with people, um, because it's so different from the US in the sense of the grind mentality, and everybody's worried about work and doing all of these things. When you get to Ghana, and people are more so worried about family and relationships. I've developed some of the most amazing and connected relationships with people here on ground. And so you'll find that when you come to the African continent, you'll find family. That's what you'll find when you come here. People who just genuinely care about you.
So for someone in the Black diaspora who is interested in going to, let's say, Ghana, picking Ghana, a lot of people have the misconception that, as soon as I arrive in Ghana, I can just slip right into the culture. But there is a
Hmm.
cultural difference for
Yes.
the most part, an adaptation, would you say, to living life in Ghana? It's not just, you show up and everything just falls into place. There is some type of adaptation that you need.
Yes. there is, and I'll even share my, my story. So when I first came the first time, I had all of these, I guess you could say, expectations of how things would be when I got on ground, and that I would just fit right in. And the reality is that there's going to be so many different things that about the culture that you just don't know. And I remember speaking to my husband at that time. Well, he wasn't my husband then, but I remember speaking to him and saying, I feel like I'm not, like, I wanted to be welcomed in such a way. Like, I thought that it was going to be like, uh, I thought it was going to be a certain way, but it's not. Why does it seem like everybody is kind of just staring at me or looking at me? And he was like, well, I mean, first of all, people are going to see you as different. First of all, you talk different, you dress different, and you look a little bit different. So it's like maybe their first perception of you is to find out, okay, who is this person? Second of all, culturally, there are certain things that maybe if you walk into a place and you're a younger person in the room, it might be that person may not say hello to you first. Culturally, you're supposed to say hello to them first. And there's different things like that we just are not privy to, and we just expect to come and be for it to be all roses. But we just have to observe. What he told me is to just sit back and observe. Don't be quick to do to hop in and say hello. Maybe the moment is not right for you to speak first or for you to say hello. Just sit down, observe what is happening so you can understand the culture. The moment that he told me that was like day 2 that I was there, everything just seemed to just flow so much better. Like, I just started observing and watching other people and seeing what other people were doing, and it was fine. It was fine. But one of the things that we do help people with, Certified Africa does help people relocate, and we do understand that the culture is very much different. So we, you know, try to help prepare people in that way so that the ease into the culture is much easier. So, there will be it'll be different foods. Maybe you might be used to coming in and going into a restaurant, ordering and getting your food in less than 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Well, in Ghana, you have to have patience. You walk into a restaurant and you order your food, they're going to prepare it fresh for you, and it'll probably come an hour later. It might take an hour or more for them to prepare in some instances. And so some people are not used to those things. So we prepare them for the cultural differences that happen on ground. And there are a lot. There are a lot. So
Yep. So I can imagine. So Certified Africa, you and your husband have a company that you help people that want to expat to Ghana. So you kind of guide them through the process and help them acclimate a little bit to that life. One thing I wanted to talk to you that I feel is really important that we don't hear a lot about is entrepreneurship in
yes.
Ghana. We always hear about, people going maybe to retire or maybe as a digital nomad, but could you just share some of the entrepreneurial opportunities that exist in Ghana?
Yes. So there are so many entrepreneurship opportunities in Ghana and on the African continent, which is one of the reasons um, why we focus on business in each of our travel experiences, because we want people to be able to see the things that we already know are on ground. There are billions of people on the African continent, which means that these are all people that are able to buy your product or service. And then on top of that, it's not as saturated like the US is. So you could be the first person to start a particular business. It may have not been done yet here. And so what we try to explain to people is whatever your skill set may be, whatever your interest may be, there's room to start it on the continent. And it's likely that maybe someone hasn't done it yet, or that it's not a market that's dominated by anybody yet. So there's room for growth. So some of the examples that are, or industries that are really great for people to get into is obviously tourism. You know, you have people coming to the African continent to do tourism. So you can think Airbnb, you can think starting a hotel, transportation. People need transportation to get to and from a lot of these travel sites, which tend to be longer than 1 hour to get to. You can even think about doing rest stops. You know, we tend to have rest stops in the US that people can stop, get a drink, use the restroom. Well, here, sometimes you can go an hour or more without a place that may have a one-stop shop where you can get gas, rest, food, all of that. So if people think about these different things, just come, look, and then see, wow, I didn't notice this, or I didn't notice that, or do they have that? Just start asking questions and you'll realize that there are business opportunities all around you. And so, yes, if someone decides that they want to move here as an expat, we recommend starting a business because the maybe what they would have made back in the US would be significantly less. And it may not be able to sustain them if they only have a job. And on top of that, we feel like if you're coming back from the diaspora with access to US and the USD dollar, you should come and create opportunities and job opportunities, not come and, you know, decide to get a job and take those job opportunities from people who are there. So it makes sense that to feel more comfortable, you'll want to start a business, or I feel like maybe you save some money and you plan to start a business at some point in time later on. So yes, we do help people identify an area that they're interested in to start a business once they arrive in Ghana in our program that we do.
That's good to know because I think a lot of people feel that going there requires maybe a lot of capital to set up shop, or it's just very complicated, or it's not feasible. So it's really nice to know that there are a lot of untapped possibilities in Ghana. One other thing that just a couple of things before I go, I wanted to just mention something that you said that I read that you wrote that I feel is so important for people, especially those moving to the continent of Africa. Africa is unlike any other continent. There's so many different cultures within this continent and countries, and even though we're all the same color, but we're all such a little micro cosm of different cultures. But you had mentioned setting intentions, and I love to talk about that. In the expat experience, once you have set an intention, to just go and do it, just go and have whatever it is. Could you just give us a little bit of motivation on someone who is perhaps sitting on the fence about moving to another continent, to another country, to Ghana, to Africa, to wherever? What is some of the advice that you would give?
Yeah, I feel like if you are considering moving abroad, or you're considering leaving your job and starting a new chapter somewhere, by all means, absolutely do it. Do it, do it, do it, because I feel like we only have one life to live. We don't know how long we'll be here. And so it's important for us to honor what's in our hearts and what's in our spirits. Those things aren't just there just to be there. If you have something that you've always wanted to do, that's tied to your purpose. There's a reason why you feel that in your spirit and in your gut. And so if you feel it, we have to honor it. Our culture in the US, I think, tends to, in a negative way, force us sometimes to feel like there's no other options, there's no other way. There's like we are confined to work the job because, okay, how else am I going to make money? Or confined to work a job because how else am I going to pay for healthcare? And people never travel out and they never see that. I'm sorry to say, the US is not the world, and that the US is just a part of the world. If you leave and go to other countries, like Ghana, for instance, you'll notice that there's no such thing as, well, I shouldn't say there's no such thing, but healthcare is not something that is used by a majority of the population. Most people go to doctors and healthcare providers and pay for things out of pocket. So in essence, the healthcare system is not something that is monopolized, or should I say capitalized. Our system is built in such a way that almost like in order to afford healthcare, you kind of either have to be rich or you have to be working for an employer that will help pay for your healthcare. So some people are thinking, how will I pay for that? But if you move and travel and live abroad, now things seem to make more sense. Now you may be able to afford some of the healthcare. Your health may actually even be better because you're not as stressed in the role that you were before. And so maybe you don't need some of the medications that you needed before. And so it may change your reality once you move abroad and open your eyes to see that things don't have to be the way that I've known it to be, or the way that my parents did it, or my grandparents did it. And so that's why it's so important for you to travel and venture out and start asking questions from other people and honor what's in your spirit. So if you're on the fence, just take a trip and see what it's like to live there. And that's why we started doing what we call expat experiences. So it will allow for you to come to Ghana for longer than 2 weeks. Maybe you might want to stay 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, and just see what it's like to live there, see what the local culture is like. And we'll start doing this in other African destinations as well, so that people can see what it's like and see if they may want to do that long term. So it's that buffer in between traveling and actually making the full commitment of moving abroad.
I feel like that's very important for people to understand, living, just passing through for a few days or a week or 2 weeks is totally different from actually immersing yourself in the culture. So
Yes.
Ghana is open for business. How can we connect with Certified Africa?
Yes, you all can, of course, find us on certifiedafrica.com. And then you can also contact us, certifiedafrica@gmail.com, and reach out to us. We're on all social media platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can see our content there, and then reach out to us on email or by scheduling a call with us through our website. Those are 2 ways that you can reach us.
There was one other thing before I go that I wanted to ask you, just to add in. Is Ghana open for young, old, in between, millennials, Gen Z, baby boomers? Is it a good experience just all around?
Yes, for both travel and for both people looking to move permanently. So there's definitely a huge community of retirees who are in Ghana. There's people who lived here for 20 plus years, 30 plus years. Like they've been in Ghana a long time. And then there's a lot of, young people in their 20s and 30s who decided to move and who go back and forth and who are building and doing business here that, are very interested in building a future here in Ghana. So they're welcoming to all ages, and it's something for everybody. I even had my 80-something-year-old grandmother. She came to Ghana for the first time 2 years ago, pre-COVID, and she loved it. And she was like, wow. She was like, if I was younger, she said, I would have moved here. I would have moved here. So, that just it made me feel good, one, that she got to see it because she wanted to see it before she closed her eyes, in her words. And then two, the fact that she said that, it just made me feel happy to do the work that I do by helping people, to come here and experience something good and a new opportunity for them.
Well, I want to thank you and your husband, Nee, for doing what you do. I wish you much success with Certified
Thank you.
Africa. I hope that many people will reach out to you and desire to get more information at the very least about the possibilities of setting up or maybe going to visit that country. And I wanted to borrow something that I saw that was very beautiful that your husband wrote to you.
Aw.
This is my wish for you also. And I wanted to share it with everyone. He said in a beautiful poem for your birthday, he said that I wish you nothing but answered prayers from God. And that is my
Yes.
wish for you and for everyone. All the best, many blessings, and I hope you have much success.
Yes. Yes. That is very nice, very beautiful.
So thank you, Kristin, for sharing with her.
Thank you so much.
We'll put a link to Certified Africa below, and many blessings to you. Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.